Good. So what do you intend to acquire for today's lecture? What are your intentions?
Wait, I just want to know how to complete and do Unit 15, but I just want to start with LO1 first.
Okay, Kate, what about you? Kate, what about you?
Okay, it's not
Kate, are
moving.
you with us? Okay. All right. So operational management planning and is one of the areas that helps in organization for most especially in terms of um products enhancement or product possibilities that helps an organization or management to determine the external objective as against the internal objectives. Now, the aim of the student is to enable students to explore operational management in all business activities and to efficiently create and deliver products in a service. This includes the transformation of inputs or outputs of a finished product and service and activities to the supply chain. We hope that the students will get insight in complex nature of operations and processes,
Yeah.
supply chain management, to the fundamental understanding of the holistic approach to the environment. So it is important that we understand what we mean by operational management.
Do you know usually the other units,
Yeah,
it has like LO1, LO2, LO3, then it
yes,
has
yes,
like some
yes,
like questions. I
yes,
didn't find that on Moodle.
yes, we've not gone there. So there are LO1 is there. Okay, we are there. This is what
So
we are
we just
talking
answer
about.
one question.
This is what you are talking about. Yes,
Yeah. Like usually, do you know there's LO1, then there's like four questions underneath. There's like the pass, merit, and distinction.
yes.
But I haven't found that with this unit.
Oh no, you should have them. Have you not got them on your?
Nah, I haven't didn't see it on Moodle.
Oh, they should have. They should have. So it's here. So LO1 is here. So that's what you're talking about. This is what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah, like that, like that. But it's like in like a table, the other bit.
So that's LO1. That's what you're talking about. The you
Okay, yeah, yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So it tells you the past, the merits, and
Yeah, 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 that's what I'm on about.
I know what you're talking about, but it's quite strange because you should have gotten this by now.
Didn't see this.
We're going to have that on
Oh
that's
yeah, yeah,
this
that's what I'm
this
talking
this
about
this,
this
this is what
year.
you're talking
Yeah.
about. You should have them. Don't you have this document? Don't you have these
I
slides?
didn't see it. I honestly didn't. I
It's
was
there.
looking
It's
last
benefit.
night.
It's benefits. Okay. So these are learning outcomes that we expect learners to function on, and we normally do after the LO1 and LO2 lectures, we're going to have assignment discussion as well. Okay. So
Is
that
this like you just answer the questions though? You don't have to like put it in something. You just answer.
you mean the questions?
Yeah, do you just answer them or do you have to like sometimes you have to like
It
create.
depends. It depends on the nature of the question. If you are being asked to explain, it's quite different than when you are being asked to examine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
okay.
analyze. So it depends on how the question is being framed. But these things we'll discuss them at the end of the lectures. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. For every lecture we have assignment discussion. I think you are aware by now.
yeah.
Exactly. So we do a deep discussion about the assignment discussions and how to answer them and all that. Okay, and what you expect you in terms of the number of font size that we need to go through, how to explain and references, which you are aware, I'm sure. Okay, how to do the references and all.
So for LO1, what's the submission format? Is it just answering the questions in Word? Normally, like a Word document.
Yeah, it should be in a Word document. Yes,
And is that for all the questions, all the LOs?
yes, for all the LOs. Yes,
Okay, that's pretty. Okay then.
that's for the all the LOs. Okay, so So LO, and that's what we're going to do too. It talks about, it has pass, merit, or distinction, and LO1 will be to examine the interrelationships of operations function within the other functions within an organization. So we look into more of the interrelationship, the relationships that runs through operations within a company, whether a factory or
Yeah.
whether an organization, teaching organizations. And so what we seek to do with LO1 is one, to examine those interrelationships between operations and the core support functions within organizations. Okay, that's what we seek to. And the two parts will be to examine the impact those operations and processes have on the function. So one is to identify those relationships, and then two is that how those relationships impact the effectiveness of an organization. You understand me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you want to have a merit, then you should be able to go beyond just examination, but to analyze the roles those operations and processes and impacts do. So one is examine, it will give you a pass mark. But if you want to go beyond a merit mark,
Yeah.
then you should be able to analyze those units that you found, those support groups that you found, and how they impact or the role they play in the organization. You want to get a distinction, then it should be a critical analyzing, just the one and two, LO1 and LO2 together. You should be able to critically analyze. So that's why I said to you that if the question says critically analyze, a different thing altogether. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's more deep, it's more involving. Then you're doing a proper, what we call comparative analysis. You are trying to analyze the various pros and cons. You understand me?
Yeah.
And then bring out your own suggestions. So you say that having analyzed the groups and all that, I feel that if we things are done this way, it'll be more better than how it is being done currently. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you are critically analyzing something, the processing, the management, and then at giving some kind of proposals, okay? Suggestions, improving those organizations. So these are the things you're going to look in LO1. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Good, good. Your colleague is not talking. Kurt Martin. I don't know. Kurt, are you with us?
I'm with you, guys.
Kurt,
Yes, yes.
Kurt, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you, guys. Look, can you hear me?
So I'm trying to share so we can hear from there. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
So what do you have on the screen then?
The LO1 and LO2 thingies.
Okay.
Links.
So let me quickly. Right. So we're going to do LO1. Can we see the screen now? LO1.
Yeah.
Good. Let's crack
Yes.
on that. So LO1, as I clearly indicated, it is to do with the operation management as the main broader topic that we're looking into. But our duty today as learners is to be able to examine those interrelationships of the functions within organizations. And when we say interrelationships, what do we mean?
The relationships inside the company.
Pardon?
The relationships which are inside the company.
Good, good. So the relationships, yes, that's very good. And so when we say relationships, it may be from department to department, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or it may be from individual to individual.
Yes.
It may be
Yeah.
from managers to managements, don't we? Or head of departments and all that.
Yeah.
So every organizations have various departments. You may have the marketing department, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You may have the IT department. Am I right?
Yeah.
You may
Yes.
have supply chain or logistics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it is important that for those organizations to have an effective product delivery, there should be some correlation, isn't it?
Yeah.
There should be some kind of communication. There should be kind of collaboration so that everything will be spot on. Okay, so operations, core, and support functions are one of the key things when it comes to organization. He said, so we should first of all, definition for the operations function and management activities to create and deliver products and services that include control and distribution system transformation. So if you take probably a company is trying to bake bread. In baking of the bread, you may have a department that will supply the bread. The bread is sent to corn, flour and everything available, isn't it? For another
Yes.
department. Then you may have the baking department that may bake the bread and all that. So you may have a different supply chain from distribution to process department, capacity building, and all that. You may have core functions of operations. When the products are being made, for product to go out there, you need a marketer, don't we?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yeah.
Yes.
We need a marketer. Keith Martin, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you guys.
Well, because you're not talking at all. So where are we now, Keith?
Sorry?
Where are we now? Where have you gotten to if you are with us, please?
Operation core and sub and that one for you're in page 5.
Your voices are very low. I can't hear you at all.
You're in page
Are you
5.
at work?
Yes.
Okay, probably that's why. Okay. So I'm saying that in operational management, we are looking to the deliverables within organization. We are looking at the core functions of various departments within organization. And it's important that we identify those functions or those departments for collaborations, okay? All right. So, and I set an example that if you have to bake a bread, if a company bakes bread like McVitie's that produces biscuits, it has different departments within the organization. It may also have external departments and internal departments. So we are looking at external departments and internal departments collaboration to produce a product. You may have suppliers who may not even be internal within organization, those who may supply the biscuits products and all that, to be different ingredients that will be needed to be delivered at the factory to produce these biscuits. Are we together? Okay. So those are external functions. And then you have the internal functions that may be the core functions of the organization. That may include the marketing department, that may include the operations department, that may include the IT departments, that may include the supply chain logistics department, and so on and so on. Are we together? And those departments becomes the core functions. They work hand in hand with each other so that they can build a capacity to sort of ensure that the product that they seek to deliver will be delivered on time, of good quality, and will meet the market standard. Can I proceed? Can I proceed?
Yes.
Can I proceed?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. So support functions include accounting, finance, human resources, and all that. Relationships between operations, core, and support file. Operations management in manufacturing service sectors, profit and not profit, SMU, and all that. So those are all things that we need to take notice of. Okay. Now, we also have to look into the input, transformational, and output process. Okay, this is the process that we need to look into. Now, inputs include raw materials. I've just mentioned that the inputs may be even external supplies that may include raw materials, information, customs, transformation, resources, and fleet. Where the output of product and services include facilitating services, service-conscious manufacturing, and the organizing offers to customers of maintenance support, and training support. So you have your inputs and your outputs, okay? And so you should be able to identify what forms your inputs. And then you should be able to identify what forms your outputs, okay? Where the outputs, the process hierarchy, the levels of process, the operation, supply chain network, and individual processes, internal and external customers, okay? The impact of the 4 V's on operations and processes. When we say the 4 V's, we are talking about the volume, variety, variation, and visibility, okay? These are things we need to look into, okay? Then the key terminology. Key terminology. We have to examine the interrelationship. So a minute. Lydia, make sure you have to push anybody in that gate when she artificial number again if you be in chat here. Oh, Alfredo, Alfredo. Come. Examine the interpretation between operations and core support functions in a range of organizations. Why didn't they call you? So if you didn't call them, do them. What is all this? Close the door, close it. Examine the interrelationship between operations and core support functions in a range of organizations. Examination the interrelation between operations and the core support functions in various organizations reveals a complex web of interactions that are critical to an organization's success. These interrelations are essential for aligning functions These interpersonal relations are essential for aligning all functions towards achieving a common objectives and fulfilling the organization mission. Let's dive into these interrelations between different types of organizations. So we have to look into those interrelationships. Manufacturing organizations have clearly indicated that in manufacturing companies, operations and core support functions such as marketing and product development are highly interconnected. The operations team must closely collaborate with marketing departments to understand customer needs, demands, specifications, and market trends. Very important. Very, very important. Now, what we intend to do as organization is to ensure that the manufacturing of a product confirms with the various deliverables or various budgets for every organization. You would agree with me that for a product to be manufactured, there should be a demand for raw materials, the demand for product specifications and customer demands. Those products may have the budget allocated for each product. So marketing department should be able to work closely with operations. Some even the packaging department should be able to how many products, packages will be made available for a product to be packaged, okay? And with their barcodes and all that, the IT department should be able to produce barcodes or stickers that will go on the package. So these are various staffs that need to be looked into, and it demands some level of collaborations to that regard. All right. Okay. Information guides production planning and resource allocation, ensuring that products meet customer expectation. Stevenson 2021. Okay. So a reference is Stevenson 2021, which confirms that the production and planning and resource allocation, ensuring that products meet customer expectations. Product development team work in tandem with operations to create products that are feasible to manufacture and cost effective. And that we can get it from Baines and L 2019. Additionally, the finance and accounting departments are integral to managing production costs and optimizing resource allocation. And so you realize that there are various functions within organization, as I've explained earlier, and those functions don't exist in isolation, but they exist to collaborate. And so when a product is being identified to be produced, finance will have to play a role in terms of money availability, how much money is available for the product to be bought. Accounting would have to account for what may have in stock. Storekeepers may play a major role in that. And even when the product is ready to be sold out, the marketers are the ones who will check the market and see what the public demands more, what kind of products that the public are patronizing the more, and then you produce more. So there must be effective collaboration. The operations department will be very technical in terms of what needs you produce to meet product specifications. Okay, so what kind of specifications are we trying to meet the market trends? And so the operational team becomes very tactical. But you may also have the IT department, that may seek into the various ISO standardization, ISO requirements, or barcodes that may go on the packaging. Okay, the packaging meeting international standardizations and all that. So these are all collaborations that each support wing cannot work on its own, but they should be able to get various informations from marketing departments. The operation department must communicate with the IT department, and even the marketing department. There should be much information from the product, what it constitutes. It should be labeled and captured on the biscuits or on the product so that they can see the ingredient, how much sugar you have in the product, how much flour, if there's no allergy, it should be stated, all those things. And then those information should be passed on so that the marketing department can also capture in the IT department may also deliver that on the product. Okay, that's fine. And then we can look into the service organizations. In service-oriented organizations, operations and core functions like marketing are equally interdependent. Okay, operations in service sectors then often complex processes that must align with marketing strategies to ensure that services meet customer expectations. Johnston and Clark 2019. Okay. Johnston and Clark 2019. Now, operations in service sectors often involve complex processes that must align with marketing strategies to ensure that services meet customer expectations.
And it has a lot.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Now,
Yeah.
I'm currently on the service. We are now considering service organizations. Now, I've clearly said that the service-oriented organizations are equally interdependent. When we say interdependent, it means they equally don't exist in isolation. Operations in service sectors often involve complex processes that must align with marketing strategies to ensure that services meet customer expectation. Johnston and Clark 2019. Furthermore, service design and development must take into account the operational feasibility, ensuring that service delivery meets quality standards. The support functions of HR and IT are crucial for managing the workforce and technology required for efficient service delivery. Okay, you can get those from our model, the references. Very important. Now, service-oriented organizations, example like a bank, you realize that the bank should have a very robust, functions, okay, processes. They are very rigorous. They do regular reviews. Called a single batch fraud and other that goes on. So they have a very complex issue. The processes of banks, how they operate, but they don't operate in isolation because one of the things that make is their IT system that is able to determine when something is fraud, when any money is coming to the account. They should be able to assess if there's a fraud instrument being paid into account. They can assess them. So, the IT plays a major role when it comes to, the bank sector or the technology area of service delivery. Okay. And there should be a very distinct marketing strategies to ensure that the services that the customer is expected is delivered per the customer's expectations. Okay. So quality standard needs to be met. You're talking about the ISO standards, ISO 2001, ISO quality management, all kinds of management need to be met when it comes to a service department. It may be a bank, it may be a technology organization and all that. And those are very, very important that you have core function that works both with the HR and the IT, the human capacity. When we say the HR, then you are referring to the human capacity, that they have the right skills to be able to meet the product expectation and product design. Okay. Profit-driven organizations. Profit-driven organizations, regardless of their industry, emphasize the interplay between operations and core support functions. The alignment between operations and marketing is crucial in this organization. An efficient production and distributions are key to meeting revenue goals. Finance and accounting are vital for cost management and revenue tracking. HAZA and Render 2021. In such organizations, The HR plays a vital role in workforce management and development to ensure productivity and efficiency. I repeat, profit-driven organizations, regardless of their industry, emphasize the interplay between operations and core support functions. The alignment between operations and marketing is crucial in these organizations, as efficient production and distributions are key to meeting revenue goals. Finance and accounting are vital for cost management and revenue tracking. Okay. Exo and Renda 2021. In such organizations, HR plays a pivotal role in workforce management and development to ensure productivity and efficiency, and very important to the profit-driven organizations. Three things are very important to them. One is the operations and the core functions. Two is that finance and accounting plays a major role. Okay, finance and account, and the third part is the HR. Now, to be able to maximize profit, you should be able to count your costs, that the HR capacity that you have are meeting the demands, So you cannot have an overplayed HR, huge number of HR when your profit margins are quite low, okay? And when you have a large force of demands, then you have your HR, but not just the HR, but HR-oriented capacity, people who have the right skills to meet various demands, okay? Finance and accounting, it is important that when it comes to profit-driven service organizations, finance and accounting plays a major role, because you need to have some kind of regular reviews and some kind of cost-benefit analysis to ensure that the finances that is being made available are meeting up with the demands that is being marketed out there, okay? So there should be regular revenue tracking to make sure that the revenue that are coming are meeting up with the expenses, okay? And if the expenses outweighs the revenues, then it means that you are not making any profit. And so for profit organization, they are very key about that, ensuring that the finance part and accounting part of the organizations have regular monitoring and tracking system. In addition to the HR, which is the force management, ensuring that the workforce are not excessive, but they are to meet the standard that it is required, in that you don't employ more staffs for a job that is quite less, okay? Non-profit organizations, that's what we call the NGOs. The non-profit organizations have interrelations between operations and core function that focus on service delivery rather than profit generation. Operations must closely collaborate with marketing to promote the organization's mission and attract donors or volunteers. Additionally, support functions like finance and accounting are vital for budgeting and resource allocation to maximize the impact of their services, okay? So for non-profit organizations have also interrelationship between the operations and core function that focus on service delivery rather than profit generation. Of course, for non-profit organizations primarily do not need to make profit, even though they still gain some profit, but it's shared among the community, maybe a CIC organizations and all that. Operations must closely collaborate with marketing to promote the organization's mission and attract donors or volunteers. Okay, because these organizations do not make any profit, it is important that they get regular fundings from donors or from the government. Okay, and so the service delivery is very important. The service that they seek to achieve, the impact that they are making in the community, what are their missions, what are their visions, what they seek to achieve. Once they have been able to identify that and they are meeting up, they are able to attract donors to come to their aid, okay? Or even volunteers to volunteer for the organizations. Additionally, support functions like finance and accounting are vital for budgeting and resource allocation. Of course, when donors fund organizations or non-profit organizations, they expect them to have proper accounting formalities in place, because you need to report, you need to account for the monies that you have received and how useful they have become, or how well you have, disperse those monies and use for the purpose for which the money was given. Okay, and those we can reference them from Karagiaki and all. Okay. And then the SMEs, what we call the small medium-sized enterprises. Small medium-sized enterprises. The SMEs often face resource constraints, making the interplay between operations and core support functions critical. In these organizations, effective operations are essential for resource optimizations and cost control, closely linked to finance and accounting. Collier and Evans 2020. Moreover, marketing and product development are typically handled by smaller team that works closely with operations to ensure efficient production service delivery. Okay, the SMEs are small based enterprise, and they may not have huge number of core function within the organization. But what is key is that they should be able to have at least the finance and accounting part of their business, and the resource should be available. So even though the SMEs are quite small in nature, but there should be effective operations which are essential for resource optimizations and cost control. And this should be closely connected to finance and accounting. Okay. Very important. And so the SMEs exist to handle smaller team, and because they are quite smaller as an SME, they are most times able to deliver efficiently and effectively. Okay. And marketing becomes a major role for these organizations because they are not quite huge. So, but what made them distinct that they should have a very strategic marketing function within the organization that will seek to market them for all that they do. All right. Good. For large organizations, there may be quite extensive or huge number of interrelations between them. Okay. Are we together?
Yes.
Do you have any question at this stage? Get any question, please?
No questions for now.
No question for now. Okay. Now 1 minute. So we are currently on large organizations. Large organizations. What's your take when we say a company is large? Kat, what's your take?
Companies that produce large amount of goods that are required by the consumers.
Yes. Yes. A company that produces large number of goods. Okay. Which means that they may also have large number of departments, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Good. And so when we say large organizations, we are looking at quite huge, extensive, various departments, from IT to marketing to distribution, and complex interrelations between operators, because once they are larger, then there will be complex. The chain of communication will be very, very complex because there's quite a number of huge departments. Okay. You know, these interrelations require comprehensive coordination and communication because they are quite large. The collaboration should be very comprehensive. There should be clear understanding. Other than that, it won't serve a purpose. So large organizations require a comprehensive coordination and communication between departments to ensure effective operation. Support functions such as HR and IT play a significant role in managing the large workforce and technology infrastructure necessary for efficiency. So you have huge number of staff that work for you. You may have pay slave that need to be done on regular basis, HR recruitment, training, every now and then. And so there should be a clear defined communication apparatus available that ensures that information dissemination is key across various functions and various groups. Okay. And this you can refer to Stevenson's 2021. So in conclusion, what we say that the interrelation between operations and core support functions and organizations are multifaceted. It means that they are very complex in nature and vary depending on the type and size of the organization. Recognizing and nurturing these interconnections is crucial for what? For ensuring organization success, whether the goal is profit generation, whether it's a service delivery organizations, or whether in pursuit of social mission, which is the NGOs. Okay, which is the NGOs, which is then the NGOs. So interrelations between operations and core support functions are motivated and very dependent on the size of. But what is key is that there should be a more nurturing these interconnections is crucial to ensure the bondings, the communications, the interdependencies. It is very important so that the organization will receive success. Either than that, when there are no collaborations among organizations, then it is going to be a huge vacuum, and that would affect the company's success to deliver or meet its demands. Okay. Now, in two, we are going to look into to examine the impact operations and process have on their functions. Okay. We are going to look into how examine the impact of operations and process on the other function with organizations. Operations and process are core elements of any organization, influencing and being influenced by various functions within it. These presentations examines how operations and process impact other functions in organizations. We are looking at the impact of how we identify those core functions. We are looking at the impacts. Okay. So the impact that operations and marketing have on various organizations. Okay, so operations and marketing, then we are looking at the product and service quality. Product and service quality. The quality of products or services produced directly affects marketing efforts. Very important. High quality offerings can be marketed more efficiently. Okay, efficiently. So when the products are highly manufactured, it makes marketing very easy because marketers become very confident, and because the feedbacks that you are going to receive from the public or the audience are very positive, it makes marketing very, very easy to do. And so the operations must work hand in hand with the marketing departments for product quality. Okay. In other words, it is the operation department that would deliver information that would and essential information that is needed for the marketers to what? To send out there to the public. Okay. Meeting customer demands. Operations must align with marketing strategies to meet customer demands promptly and efficiently. So if a customer says, we want this part of your biscuit, this particular biscuit, but we need it in 2 weeks' time, marketers who are the ones, or the sales department are the ones who would have received those requests from the clients. It is up to the marketers to pass on to the operation and says, this particular product, this is the kind of ingredient we want, this is the kind of boxes we want. It needs to be delivered in the next 2 weeks or in the next 3 weeks. So there must be collaboration. Brand reputation, consistent operations and reliable processes contribute to a positive brand image, which is valuable to marketing asset. Of course, marketing is all about branding. A well-brand product, okay, would attract the attention of the public or the clients, okay? So there should be positive branding image for various organizations. Then we can look into operations and finance. When we talk about cost control, effective operations management is essential for cost control, impacting financial performance. Efficient processes to reduce operational costs, very important. Efficient processes, but it's essential for cost control, impacting financial performance. Efficient processes reduce operational costs. Okay. When you have quite process, in place, it help reduce operational costs. Okay. When you have machines that are doing good jobs, and well-defined machines, so that you would reduce the defects, and then you don't spend more in terms of your costs. Okay. So it is very important that you check cost control. You do what we call product valuation and product monitoring. Okay. Very important. And those you can get for Collier and Evans 2020. Budgeting. There should be a proper budgeting for every product, whether quarterly, yearly, or mid-year. Okay. Budgeting. The budgeting process depends on operational data and forecast, making accurate operations information crucial for financial planning. Very important. The budget informs us in the financial planning of the products, all the manufacture of the particular product you seek to do. Okay. Very important. And budgeting falls under finance. Budgeting falls under finance, but it must work hand in hand with the marketing department, the operation department, because you would have to have budget what raw materials we made available for the product to be, to be produced. Okay. And then also you have to budget deliverable, the suppliers who are bringing the products, the raw materials, and even also budget how it will be packaged and distributed out there. Okay. Revenue generation. Efficient operations contribute to revenue generation by ensuring timely delivery of product or services. Logistics, supply chain, logistics and supply chain. Distribution, they must work hand in hand to make this work. And this also then becomes a factor to finance, revenue generation, revenue department, how we can effectively generate revenue within a short possible time. You should be able to work with the supply chain department or logistics departments. Okay. Operations and human resource. Operations and human resource. You need a workforce. You need a workforce. Operations impact HR in terms of workforce efficiency. Efficient processes and resource allocation can enhance employee productivity. And therefore, because workforces plays major role in organizational success, whether you have the right workforce or you have the bad workforce. A well-trained workforce or staffs would enhance the success. A less trained workforce would decline the success of the organization. And so the HR department should have regular trainings and development for the workforce. HR plays a major role in training and developing staff in line with operational needs. The synergy between this function is critical for employee skill development. Beshona and Hall 2019. Employee satisfaction. Well-managed operations can positively affect employee satisfaction, reducing turnover and enhancing requirement efforts. Employee satisfaction. Well-managed operations can positively affect employee satisfaction, reducing turnover and enhancing HR requirement efforts. Very, very important. Very, very, very important. Operations and information technology, and what we call the IT. Very important. IT plays a major role, and I've said this several times. You know, from data analysis to decision making to automation to barcodes and all that is very important. Effective integration of technology enhances operational efficiency. Loudon and Loudon 2019. Data management. IT system collect and analyze operational data, enabling informed decision making and process involvement. Okay. Data management, IT system collects and analyze operational data, enabling informed decision making and process improvement. Becknor and Hall 2019. Very key. Data analysis. You should be able to have data every now and then. How the product was faring last year and how it's faring this year. What are your projections in the future? You need to have data to back it. Okay. What were the reviews, the products that customers didn't like, and what can be done about it? These are reviews that you need to collect data, and IT plays major role in data analysis. Okay. Data management. IT systems collect and analyze operational data, enabling informed decision. Very important. Customer interaction. IT systems often play, even in the advent of AI and all that, IT systems often play a role in customer interactions, imparting customer relationship management and service delivery. Very important. Okay. Operations and supply chain management. Supply relationships. I clearly indicated prior to the onset of my lecture that in organizational success, you don't only focus on the internal core functions within the organization. You don't. You also have to look at the external support groups behind, because you need to have some kind of regular collaborations and also with external support groups. For instance, you need to have some strategic alliance with suppliers, your regular suppliers that probably supply you products or raw materials. And so when you build the alliance, you may choose 2 or 3 people or suppliers that you can work with, and you build some alliance. Oftentimes, you may even put the suppliers together to come out as one organization to one wing to supply you the products. And so supply relationships, effective operations affect relationship between suppliers, influencing supply chain reliability and cost management. Very important. So you need to build relationships beyond even the core internal functions to the external organizations as well. Okay. Inventory management. Very important that you check internally your inventories. Okay. Efficient operations impact inventory levels, minimizing carrying costs, ensure availability of products when needed. Inventory helps you to know what you have available and what you need to have in future. Inventory helps you to know your costs, whether you have loss of costs embedded in you or whether you intend to bear more costs. Inventory reveals the accountability of products that have been used and what you need to buy in advance. Okay. Then you have to look at distribution. Operations influence distribution efficiency. affecting the delivery of products or services to customers, okay? Operation influencing distribution efficiency. So slack and L, we need to be very important to check the distribution part of products. Yeah, distribution part of products. You say how well are distribution going to go? They should affect the delivery of products, okay? On time. Distribution should be done on time. Once the products are happy, the products are ready, there should be tracks. Supply chain should have various things in place. Packaging on spot on, everything is spot on to be delivered. Tracks available to deliver to various lines within the shortest possible time. Okay. Operations and legal compliance. Every organizations per where they function, whether the UK, out of UK, would have compliances to adhere to. Africa may have the GRA, revenue departments and all that. You may also have standardizing compliances that you need to when the product have to go beyond UK to the outside world, there are compliances that you need to adhere to. Okay, so regulatory compliances. Operations must adhere to industry regulations and standards. Necessitation coordination with legal and compliance functions, Collier and Evans 2020. Risk management. Effective operations and risk management processes can minimize legal and compliance issues, ensuring the organization's integrity. Jacob and Chase 2018. Okay. Risk management, very, very, but you have to manage uncertainties. Okay. You have to manage things that may occur, likely to occur. So there should be some kind of risk management in place to mitigate those that may happen, whether it's going to be a huge impact or less impact. You need to have some kind of rigorous risk management in place, okay, to minimize those legal and compliance issues that may occur, things that you may not have done or comply with regulatory, okay, and that may come with funds and other issues, okay. So you need to have some kind of management in place and risk to, some may be money, allocation of money in place, you allocate them and all that. Some may be product IT systems, to make sure that there's a bit of risk management, for compliance issues, ensuring the organizations have integrity, some kind of reputation, integrity that the company need to have. Very important. Jacobs and Charles. In conclusion, we have highlighted the interconnect of operations and other organization functions. Emphasis the importance of collaboration and communication between these functions for organizational success. Very, very important. Okay. And then we would have to look into to analyze the role of operations and processes and impact within organizations. Very important, okay? And that's if you want to achieve a distinction, okay? A distinction. Operations and strategic alignments, okay? We should be able to discuss how operations are integral to achieving organization objective. We should be able to analyze how aligning those operations with organization strategic goals can lead to a competitive advantage. Now, so when we say we should be able to analyze how aligning those operations with organizational strategic goals can lead to competitive advantage. Yeah, every organizations may have a goals. Some or may have missions and visions. Now, we need to ensure that our mission fits into our collective vision. Okay. There should be strategic goals. Okay. Strategic goals can lead to a competitive advantage. When we say competitive advantage, you need to have an advantage over your competitor, because everything that you are doing or seek to do, somebody else may be doing it already. So you always have a competitor. You should be able to position yourself in a way that you have a competitive advantage. What should be unique? There should be something unique about you. If you have a competitor who is selling the same product for £5, you can reduce to £4, but higher quality. In that you build in your customers the drive to always return back to you. Operational efficiency and cost control. Examine how efficient processes impact cost control and resource utilization. Okay, Collier and House 2020. You have to provide examples of organizations that have effectively utilized operations to reduce costs. Quality management and customer satisfaction. I've mentioned that quality management very important. You have to comply with the quality management for every organization to analyze the link between operations and product service quality. You have to discuss how operations impact customer satisfaction and loyalty. Okay, very important. Loyalty, that they always return back. Okay. You should be able to cite case studies illustrating the relationship between operational and excellence customer satisfaction. Okay. Very important. And process innovation, competitive advantage. These are things that we need to look into. Operations and supply chain management. We will have to examine how operations influence supply chain management, including relationship with suppliers, inventory management, and distribution. We've done that. We have to discuss the impact of well optimized, very important. Information technology in operation. Discuss the role of information. This we have done, okay? In conclusion, so let's look at D1. Critically analyzing operations, process, and management in successfully improving organization performance and achievements. Introduction. Establish the significance of operations, process, and management in achieving organization. Present the purpose of a critical analysis. Align strategic objective. Critical analyze the role of operations, process, and management in aligning with organization strategic objective. Then you have to discuss the impact of this. Okay. Evaluate the critical importance of operation efficiency and cost control in achieving organizational performance. This we have discussed. Then we can look into supply chain management efficiency, organizational culture, and employee engagement. We have to critically assess how operations and process influence an organization's culture and employee engagement. Discuss the implications of a positive culture for operational excellence and performance. Information technology integration. Evaluate the criticality of integrating information technology into operations and decision making. Analyze how IT systems enhance proficiency enhance process efficiency and data analysis. Okay. Then we can continuous improvement and change management. Because when you are introduced something new, it's quite difficult. There's always a part of it that you have to do change management. Very important. Okay. You have to do risk management as well. Very, very important. Very, very important. Okay. So analyze how management change within organization impacts organization performance and agility. Discuss the criticality of continuous improvement methodologies in operations. Analyze how managing change with yes. Examine the critical connection between operations and risk management. Okay, when it talks about risk management and compliance, we have to discuss how effective operations can, then challenges and pitfalls. Critical analyze the common challenges and pitfalls and potential roadblocks in improving organizational performance through operations and process management. Discuss how these challenges can impede the achievement of objective. Conclusion. Summarize key findings and insights from critical analysis. Emphasize the vital role of operations and process and management in driving organizational performance and achieving objective. Then you have references that you have to look into, okay? There you have a lot of references. Loads of them that we can look into. There are books that you can refer to ebooks and journals or model for this unit. And if you go to your model as well, you can get a lot of information in here that you can look into, okay? So from risk management to change management, okay, to information technology, we have to evaluate, analyze all those organizational culture, employee engagement. You have to organize how those processes, influence the organizational culture and employee engagements. You have to discuss the implications of positive culture for operational excellence and performance. Okay. Supply chain management efficiency. Analyze the impact of efficiency, operations, and supply chain management on organizational performance. Discuss how supply chain optimization can result in cost of savings and enhance service delivery. We have to look into all those, okay? Process innovation and competitive advantage. You have to examine the critical role of process innovation in gaining a competitive advantage, which I explained to you, okay? Whether you want to reduce your costs, your price, or the quality wise, okay? And if somebody delivers something in 1 week time, maybe you want to reduce yours and delivering in 5 days time or in 4 days time, so to have a competitive advantage. We have to discuss how innovation processes can lead to superior market positioning and performance. Okay, so these are all things that we need to look into. Quality management and customer satisfaction. You have to critically assess the connection between quality management operations and customer satisfaction, and analyze how maintaining high quality standards can lead to improved customer loyalty. Of course, when products are high in quality, customer loyalty increases because they always return back. Okay, they always return back. Evaluate the critical importance of operational efficiency, cost control in achieving organizational performance. Explore how streamlined processes reduce operational costs and enhance resource utilizations. Okay. Okay. Continuous improvement and change management. I did mention that to discuss the critical analysis of continuous improvement methodologies in operations, we need to continuously improve them. Okay. Analyze how managing change within organizations. Analyze it. Okay. Analyze it. You need to analyze them. We need to analyze them. Okay. Analyze how managing change with operations impacts organizational performance. And then, yes, once you introduce change, there's always a need for people to. So change management is very key. Okay. Risk management and compliance. I discuss how effective operations can mitigate risks and ensure regulatory compliance. Examine the critical connection between operations and risk management and compliance functions. Okay. Very, very important. We need to look into all that. Okay. All right. So I think that we've gone through most of the information that we have here. Alignment with strategic objective. Critically analyze the role of operations, processes, and management in aligning with an organizational strategic objective. Stevenson, 2021. Discuss the impact of strategic alignment on organizational performance. Discuss the impact of strategic alignment on organizational performance. You know, we have to look at the strategic visions and goals. What impact does it make on the organization? Okay. Has it not been that you are not strategic? What will be the difference? What may be the issues? But once you have strategic goals for the organizations, and those strategic goals, are they fitting in? Are the various function groups within the organization, are they fitting into the strategic goals? These are things that we need to look into. Okay. Okay. So I'll bring today's lectures to an end. Okay. You have all the references here. Kate, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. I hope you have understanding of whatever we discussed.
Yes, yes.
Good. So when you go to your student model, you have lots of references that we have to look into. We've spoken about change management. We've spoken about risk management, how to discard, to review them. Why change management? Because anytime organization decides to bring changes, it is quite difficult for workers to adapt to those changes because they are used to doing certain things, certain way for a long period of time. And therefore, there's a need for you to introduce change management trainings. So the HR department of the organization does those trainings to develop, because people need to go through change. You also have to have risk management. They need to be trained on how to mitigate risk, okay? Because you have compliances that you need to comply to, regulatory you have to comply to. If it's a care home, you need to comply with CQC organizations, policies, and all that. So you're very important that you have to look into it. We spoke about strategic goals. Every organization should have goals, okay? Strategic goals. What are the visions? What do you seek to achieve in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years? So this will be strategic. What can you do to have competitive advantage? These are strategic goals. Your cost control, your pricing. What are the strategic goals for your pricing? For your raw materials. What are the strategic goals for those raw materials? Okay, those are very important things. What will you do to control your cost so you have competitive advantage? What will you do to enable that your customers will always return to you, or to build your loyalty, increase your loyalty? Okay, so if your competitor has the same product that you do and they do the product and deliver in a 2 weeks time, and the cost is £5, you deliver less than 2 weeks and maybe reduce your cost to £4. Okay, this is what we call competitive advantage. Okay, so these are all things that we need to know and as learners in when it comes to operational management. Are we together? Okay. All right. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. So then we'll bring our today's lectures to an end. Okay.
Okay, okay.
We'll continue tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And plus, also, there's one thing I've remembered.
Say it again.
In the module, there's no assignment.
There's no word. Say it again.
The assignment is not there.
There is no statement, you said?
Assignment.
As there is. Then I'll ask them to send. That's strange. There should be assignment
Okay,
for
okay.
every model. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's very strange. Just hold on. Why don't you have? But why don't you have?
I don't know. It's not in the module.
The one I share with you, we have. There is assignments. So if you don't have, I'm going to ask I'm going to share on the group so that the admin team will work on it. Okay.
Okay, okay.
I'll ask them to send that to you. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.